So good afternoon students. So today we will study the second part of the chapter, the master artist. So in previous class we had studied that a painter, world famous painter Sunil Abhay has been given the responsibility to make a portrait of Mr. Bartoli. Okay, and he has already started the work. 1 month has passed. Okay, then one day Signor Bartoli asked him. So I'll read out the chapter. Just listen and then I'll explain it properly. A month passed. How is it coming along? Signor Bartoli asked. Signor Bartoli asked the painter that how is the work is going on and how is the portrait. He answered, "It's coming along nicely," said Monsieur Lebe, again from behind the curtain. Along with his words came the strange sounds of soaping, clanking, and slapping. You are fortunate that I am painting your portrait. Only bone fresco will need 4 coats of lime plaster. It is the best plaster process I ever saw, Signor Bartoli. It will last forever, but it's a time-consuming endeavor. So then Monsieur Labbe told Bartoli that the painting which I am making, that is coming along nicely, and you are fortunate enough to uh, choose me, the painter, to make your portrait. Okay, so only buon fresco. So buon fresco is an Italian expression for true fresco, means a technique in which paint is made on the wall when the plaster is wet, so that the color would mix up well with the plaster. So he's telling him that only buon fresco, real buon fresco, could be able to make the portrait uh, like me. So it's coming out to very nice picture, nice portrait, but it will take some time. It is time consuming endeavor. Time consuming means effort. Sighing deeply, the patron withdrew again. Just how long would this take? Sighing deeply because already 1 month has passed, and Bartoli was eagerly waiting for his portrait. Okay, so he sighed deeply, and he was thinking that how much time he will take. Another 3-4 months passed, and finally half a year went by. One day, Signor Bartoli marched in, demanding to see his portrait. "You must be finished by now and today. I will see it," he exclaimed, shaking with frustration. So time passed, 3-4 months had already passed, and finally Bartoli one day he came there and demanded the uh, artist to show the portrait, and he was very much frustrated, and he ordered him, you can say, that painter had to complete the portrait within uh, uh, now or today. Okay. Stepping out from behind the clock as though surprised by such anger, Monsieur Monsieur Similarly said calmly, "That's fine. You needed only to request it." And he pulled aside the 20-foot tall curtain. So then Sinilabe came out from behind the curtain, and he was surprised. He was surprised because he had never seen Bartoli in such anger. He told him calmly, "That's fine, okay, I'll show you. Okay, but you needed only to request it, not like this." And he pulled aside the 20-foot tall curtain. Just remember that one curtain was just put in front of the portrait to be made there wall. He pulled aside the 20-foot tall curtain. Giuliano Bartoli stood for a minute. Then his mouth fell open, his eyes turned red, and he grabbed what uh, few hairs he had left on his head. He did a little hop and then a twitch, and his eyebrows twisted as though he was under a spell. Giuliano Bartoli obviously did not like his portrait, not a bit. Giuliano Bartoli was enraged. So when he pulled aside the curtain, okay, from the in front, which was laid in front of the portrait, Giuliano Bartoli was surprised. His mouth fell open, okay, and his eyes turned red. He became very angry, and he started pulling his hairs. Only few hairs he had. He started pulling those hairs, and he did a little hop. Hop, you know. So hop means to jump in, like frog used to hop. Frogs used to hop, and then a twitch. Twitch means a brief, sudden movement that showed his anger. That means he was angrily uh, moving, and his eyebrows twisted as though he was under a spell. Eyebrows also twisted, means, and he was in deep anger. You can say he did not like his portrait. How absurd! How disgusting! What does this mean? You'll not receive any money. Do you hear? None. You are not an artist, maybe a thief or a madman. Get out of my sight. You'll leave my house tonight, or I'll have you thrown out. And he was very much angry, okay, because that picture was very ridiculous, and he was telling him that he's not going to get the money for that, and he ordered him to leave the palace immediately, otherwise he will uh, have him thrown out by his army. So what had Monsieur done that was wrong? He couldn't see it. He had fused and fixed for so long. It was his 20-foot tall masterpiece. He wasn't sorry that he had drawn to his heart's content, his way, no matter what anybody would say. Perhaps his patron couldn't tolerate his cubist expression, but Pablo Picasso would have been proud of him. So, what had Monsieur in a way told that was so wrong? And what was the mistake there over there? Actually, uh, he couldn't see it. He had fused and fixed for so long. This much time he had taken, that was beyond the belief, you can say. It was his 20-foot tall masterpiece, and in that portrait, he has made Cubist expression. Cubist expression means belonging to a style called Cubism, a form of modern art which uses geometric shapes and was developed and made famous by Pablo Picasso in the early 20th century. Okay, that means the expression which was made in that portrait was a little bit different, which Bartoli didn't like. That's why he was very furious. He was very angry. But the artist was very much, you can say, satisfied with the work, whatever he had done. If truth be told, Monsieur Sinilabe wasn't crazy, not at all. He had simply been born 500 years too early. So the truth be told, Monsieur means writer wants to say that he was not crazy, okay, but he had simply been born 500 years too early. That means the paint or the portrait which was made, that that seems to be the 500 years ago. That the technique which was used, that was that belongs to, you can say, 500 years ago. 12. So this was the chapter. I hope you understood it. So in next class we will do question answer.